Hello, I'm Brenda Power Medicine. This is Brenda Power Medicine Woman, and I am here to teach and to talk and let spirit come through me. If you're interested in listening to how to change your world, seriously, if you don't like how your world is showing up, how your life of everyday programming is showing up, you may want to tune in and listen to what spirit has to say. Hello. Because there's a lot to do out there. Are you just tired of just listening to everyday news and don't quite metaphysically understand what that's about? When you begin to wake up, it's not just, what does it mean to you? Oh my goodness. There is an error published in your live video news feed. Please check your camera. Holy shit. Please check my camera. That was bizarre and a half. Go live again. Huh. Okay, this is Brenda Power Medicine again, take 2. We're on YouTube as well. And I was just describing what does it metaphysically mean when shit happens in your world? I mean, literally, you could just have a day-to-day of saying, no, this is just life. Or you can say, the heck just happened? Spiritually, you have to get in a mindset. The mindset is very simple. If you don't like what you see, you change it. But what do you normally do? If you don't like what you see, what do you normally do? What did the world change it to be? Now, hello, people. If you tried getting on the other live feed, I have no idea what happened, except for it was an example. All of a sudden, it just ended. And we're going to talk about things. Talk about good things. Hello, Drea. Ooh, love life looks a little bit perkier, or your mindset is a little bit perkier. That's good. Miss Hawkins. Yes, look at all those pretty faces. Hello. Oh, see, and it erased everything I had up above. Okay, that's fine. If you need a free reading and you want a free reading, understand all you have to do is email me. Where do you email it to? It's medicinewoman4you at, where's it at dr.com. You want a paid reading, then email. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, paid. It is bpower.mw@dr.com. PayPal. So, like I said, I have no idea what happened. So I was explaining to the world. Drea, yes, both, and thank you. You helped me a great deal. Great job. Love to have love when people's lives turn around, but what happens when that love takes a shit? When the computer all of a sudden takes a dive, or the camera says, oh, you're done. What does it all mean? Hey, Kevin, you came back. Okay, Kevin, I think Keith. You know what? I remember as a K. But anyway, you're back. Awesome. And if you did the healing, I'd like to know if it worked. So, again, what does life mean? When you wake up, every day you're a program. You wake up, you're like, oh my, I'm trying to originate your mind and to focus and go, yeah, this is my life. I woke up in the right one. And then you're like, shit. I mean, your program immediately starts the emotions. Boom, boom, boom. Oh my God, we're stressed. We have to do this today. Or the emotions that go, oh my God, did you hear what that person said to me the other day? And it's dwelling. It is what we have accepted. Kevin, good. Accepted our world. We believe it, and we gave it our willpower, and therefore they become trapped emotions, trapped beliefs, and trapped. And we become trapped. We believe that's what life is supposed to be, and it's not true. What is going on with my eye? I've been all morning, great mood, all morning. living and breathing and talking through spirit, and just minutes prior to the show. Oh, I think Amy, your mother is here because she was trying to style my hair like in the 50s and then crossed it between the 80s. And I'm like, what are we doing? No. And then 2 seconds before I went on, I go, I just took stuff out. So we'll see what happened. Yay, Kevin! He says the steps you provided with definitely helped tons. Excellent. You're on the road. Just you got to learn why it's happening next and how to change your personality. And that is exactly what we're doing. You know, we are doing it. And now I'm teaching you metaphysics. I'm teaching you how to live within your spirit mind. I'm teaching you how to understand your inner world that creates your outer world. And you are made of energy. It is the best thing in the world is to begin to understand who and what you are and how you play a part in this world, as well as your own world. Ah, thank you, Rachel. So, life is good. Just moments before the first video crashed, and I was saying, what do we do? Okay, we can do the old way of, oh my God, that happened. And you can get all negative. You can say, oh, life's against me. You could go in such a tizzy. Now, how often do you all do that? How often do you know that that's even what the hell's going on with my shirt? I'm sorry, I'm looking at energy, and energy is like, you're off. And I'm thinking, what are you trying to tell me? So physically, spirit is saying, pay attention. And that is what's happening. I'm asking you just pay attention to your world. And it's not that I'm trying to be perfect, is I'm trying to understand, why does the energy feel off? I don't need to blame anything. I'm just being observant. I don't have to be a reactionary limbic emotional symptom. Nope. Just trying to figure out, Spirit is sticking things out like a sore thumb. You know, when I started to listen to Spirit, and Spirit says, oh, you need to go and do sessions with people so that they can find out who they are. I said, okay. And people came in, and I was watching the environment. My daughter would run in, other people would interrupt, and they were clues. Spirit says, they're clues, clue finding, clues. And the lady was getting annoying. I says, no, stop. I said, each of these things are your world. I says, let's look at this. What do you think of this? What was that phone call? Blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden she told her own story. And then when I said, let me repeat what you just said, what your inner world's saying. And I said it, and she goes, oh, shit. She just was shocked, because she goes, yeah, that is what I have to heal. That is what I'm attached to. That is my story. I says, good. Do you need to keep believing it? Do you need to keep giving your power to it? Do you have to keep wanting to repeat this pain? Now, a lot of people will repeat pain because they can't let go, like when you have loss. Most of the time, people are afraid of change, not because it's just the unknown. You just don't know how to jump onto the spiritual path and let Spirit show you this is the way, and it's smooth, you know. Any bumps come up, they go, heal this, done, let's go. Whereas before, if you're just in your ego mind, your future is, oh my God. And we are so programmed to think impending doom. Why? I think you know the answer. I think you all know the answer. Hello, Patricia. Oh, y'all look good. Hey, Patricia, you're sparkling too. I thought it was just Drea, but now I see you sparkling. Drea, are you spreading that love all over or something? That's awesome. Keep it up. We need more people that are getting it, that are awakening, and don't have to be a victim. And what I noticed was one of my students, he's a friend of mine on Facebook, and he's from when I was in Michigan, and he's going through a transitional state right now. And those are the ugliest things I've ever seen in my life. Why? Because you've been in a transitional state. I've been in a transitional state when my hair sucks, it's too short, needs to get long, or you get that, the clothes don't fit right. And the transitional states of, oh my God, impending doom, what am I supposed to do? And if you are waking up from a world that you don't really belong in, and you learn that you are in a reactionary person, that's not name calling. That is helping you understand that you're like, Reactionary, what does it mean? Just think about it. What's the definition? Oh, my emotions are causing me to reaction. That's what's called a twang. And what I teach is if you have a twang, that is taken personal. Now, the ego side, the narcissistic side, can turn that and hurt that and make that worse. Or spiritually, you can wake up and you say, I don't give a rat's ass about what they think. They are my outer world. And that's not the choice I need to make. That's not the choice I have to take. They exist because something is out of balance in me. What the hell is it? And what it is, well, certain errors. We were waking up. We were beginning to use our empath. Our hearts were opening up. Our fifth and sixth chakras are opening up. And we're like, we can't take it anymore. I don't have to see the world like shit. I need to tune in. And instead of believing it's religion, it's about spirituality. I turned the heater off, but holy crap, I'm sweating. Okay. Anyway, what does all this mean? It can get very overwhelming. This is why I'm going to be teaching classes. This is why I want you to get prepared, because I'm hoping, I'm trusting, because I have nothing on paper. Well, I have a few things on paper. I've got nothing written in stone, but Spirit says this is where you teach people to start trusting. Getting on that path, getting on that spiritual path is so huge, because it's about learning to change your mindset. It's about disengaging by dissolving out the chemical peptides that create the emotions to go apeshit. It is huge, okay? Your health has everything to do with your mindset, your personality, how you react. And if you really look at your environment and you say you hate it and you can't get out of it, 1, you just said, there's my belief. 2, I accepted. 3, I gave it my willpower. And I can show you how to unhook those. I can't change. Again, that's a belief. And that's an emotion. And there's a willpower. You can change that. Because you understand that if there are things that are negative out there, why does it affect some and not the others? Simply put, is that when the negativity is out there, and you have a belief system that says you could get hurt, and another person has never heard of that before, then this is not going to gravitate to that person. It's going to gravitate to those that believe they can be hurt. You understand? So if you change your belief system, change the emotions of how you experienced it, how you know it, and how you got proof, and stop asking Spirit to keep giving you more proof of your health. It sounds complicated, but it's not. One of the things we're going to be teaching is going to be group healings. Okay, there are going to be group discussions, like kind of what we do here, but these are tailored to you, and it's going to be tailored to the group, and it's going to be tailored to help you open. So there are 2 very big, huge, distinct groups that are going to fall under memberships. And the one group is the healing group, is that people can't afford me. Yeah, I'm cheap. But people can't afford me because they need me every day. It's not they're addicted. It's just that they are seriously willing to invest in their life. And they're so tired of investing in other stuff. So Spirit says, okay, instead of giving myself away free, which is going to create karma for me and you, Spirit says, you're going to do this, and then you're going to give them more options. Soul coaching, that's a whole nother group you can do. And that is easier because I just give you the information, real quick, and then you do all the healing. You come back and I check. And if I say, nope, it's off, go this way, or yep, you're getting there, but go this way, then soul coaching is very useful. Then there is the group healings, where you will all come into a group and we'll all start specifically working on issues that are about using healing tools, okay? Where the other group is about understanding and giving you the knowledge so that you can shift your thinking. It's helping you to shift gears or shift in from get into the spiritual mindset out of the ego. And then there'll be meditation groups where you will learn how to connect your brain and your heart that will be more harmonized, that is going to allow your nervous system to receive more love. And there are things where people actually begin to heal on such a great level. So I want you to change your world. I want you to have hope, love, joy, peace, harmony. I want your spirit to get in, beam into the body and go, woohoo, let's go. And not have to worry that it's going to be in a shit, because you are beginning to understand how to live with intention. I live it, breathe it, walk it, talk it, and dream it every day. And people say, well, you need a break from that. You don't get it. I don't create a world that I have to run from. I created a world that I can just cozy in, and it's not even a comfort zone. It is just my space of being. I mean, I love it. It's so cool to understand that the more you begin to do this, you don't have to expose yourself to spirits. Okay. But if your belief system is that they're going to attack, then you're going to have issues, because your belief system is going to say true. Well, here's proof. But if you hear bumps and groans, and this doesn't mean that you have to watch a paranormal movie and believe that your house is blah. What a lot of paranormal people will tell you is simply this. If it's not attacking, then it's not a big deal. You're just learning how to use your sensory system to communicate. But it's interesting, because almost every paranormal person will tell you that have worked with it enough that it's not about binding spells, and it's not about that. It boils down to just the quantum physics. It boils down to, if you had an emotional shit life or you had a bad experience, then guess what? Your vibration has changed. If we were to heal those specific moments and we change those moments, those little bumps and scratches, that they'll start to disappear. Those fearful things will start to disappear. Why? Because we're taking your power back. We are helping you to mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually evolve. Your soul is like, thank you very much. It needs love. It needs to grow. Yeah, transitional state, they can be the most hellish things, Kevin. Oh my God. I mean, I love this man that I was telling you about. And he's woke up to realizing he has a narcissistic family. And he's like, I don't fit. I don't need this anymore. And now we have to help him unprogram himself, which is simply, oh my God, every time, those buttons were installed, we need to uninstall those buttons. We need to help this person to become unreactionary. And it's about learning to work through spirit in your heart, and then realizing that you don't give a rat's ass about what they think, because it is none of their business. And you didn't get into this body, born in this life, just to please them. It has nothing to do with them. And it's not about getting lost in your world of swearing, being upset. And there's nothing wrong with swearing, trust me. But that's not you. You are learning to find your identity. Hey, James. Hi, darling. I love you. I hope you've seen the video I put on your wall, darling. Oh, it's great to see men here. This is awesome. So creating a world that's important for you. But it doesn't matter about anybody else? No. Let me tell you, thoughts are electrical. Emotions are magnetic. And you're an electromagnetic being. You have that power. And it's like, what? It's about changing your world. It's about just setting your GPS to happiness. And then the things that don't fit, you start to heal your shit. Simple. So on my page, I put a question. And it's important to understand that you take this journey with me. Remember to like my page, enjoy it, participate. If you have an intention of growth, don't cut off your line that's feeding you for free or feeding you to help you. Don't go back and hook yourself up to those people and get drained, because they're hungry. Some people are energy vampires. Some people are just draining. You haven't learned how to do healthy boundaries yet. And you need to find your tribe. You need to find that way that will help you feel love and joy and peace. You don't have to go through hell. And yeah, hell is transitioning. You're transitioning out of hell. You know, the state of you create your own heaven and earth. Okay. They are states of mind. And hell is real, and so is heaven. I'm looking at my lipstick there. And see the energy shifting again on me. Oh, that was your way of changing it? I got you. Okay. So when you're connecting, hell is real, especially if your mindset, your brainwaves, and your first and second and third consuming survival chakras are not communicating with the higher frequency chakras. Then yeah, hell is going to get more hellish, and you're going to learn in the kaleidoscope of life all those perspectives of what hell is. So you can have proof. But I'm telling you, why are you gathering that? You already know what love isn't. Now it's time to stop observing, let that shit go, and change that limited decision. Release that belief by taking your willpower off it. Yeah. Hello, Steve. Oh, you know, he's an amazing man. So it's funny is that I'm like, oh, Spirit's trying to teach me this and this and that. And then all of a sudden I had come up with something that I couldn't quite, you know, I thought, who do I talk to? Who do I know? And Spirit goes, Steve. And I just remind me of that little, what do you call it? There's a video out, and he goes, the little thing goes, Al, which is my husband's name. Al, Steve. Steve. And that's what they were doing. And then there was a joke in my head. And I'm like, oh, my friend. Oh my God. Yes, I can ask him. You know, because they've been pestering me for a good week or so. Well, go talk to Steve, you know, hey, say hi to Steve. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And you get so wrapped up in your world, you don't realize but Spirit was saying, hey, it's time to connect with Steve. You know, over here, Steve got the answer. I was just like, oh gosh. Now, what's funny is I'm watching energy change my eye here. And again, what does that mean? Physically, okay, so you can have a surface level of issues, okay, easily be fixed, not a problem. The emotions, they show it. Then you start to get into strategies. Then you start to get into patterns. And then you're working through the physical, emotional, and then physical and mental and emotional, and physical and mental, and then physical, spiritual. When you have physical issues, it's a spiritual, mental, emotional, physical thing. And you physically will start seeing things when you have something to heal in your spiritual world. So, yes, where are you all from? I want to know that. I think that's such a great thing to know. Some people will pay, and it's like, I don't even ask. My husband says, where are they from? I says, I don't know. But I have people from Paris, and I've got people from Europe. I've got people from New Zealand. It's just really good. I mean, I have people from Malaysia. My left eye is trying to escape from my face. It just looks so weird, don't it? You know, and it's like this left side of the body does not want to do something. And we could metaphysically, but I'm not going to do a reading for you yet. Australia. I'm looking for more Australians because I live in South Australia. And what we got is we have a caravan or a camper van, whatever it is. And we want to start finding places and people that have like-minded that want me to come and maybe do a one-day group healing or one-day group reading where you talk to the other side, or we do what's on here, or there's or living room tours where it's boot camp. And you have a 3-day boot camp where this is all about fast tracking to wake up. And then eventually we'll get to America and, yes, Betty from Michigan, Davison. And that was close to where I used to live. Texas. Oh, yeah, I have a lot of people from Texas, UK, Arizona, wonderful. New York. Oh, yay! New York, Wisconsin. Yes, see, that's beautiful. Natasha says, I had a thought the other day how we really are just numbers and people don't care if it's not happening to them. Oh, exactly. Then it raised the question, what is the purpose of life if it's not of love? Okay. what I found about that. And it's great that you're questioning. Now it is to solve it with your spiritual mindset and your heart and your gut intuition instead of ego. So when you get to have that urge that there's more to life, you'll begin to question. And when you begin to question, understand you're going to need to raise your frequency in your brain, in your heart, and learn to listen with the spirit. That's going to be one of the classes, is learning how to communicate with spirit. But it's not just about, oh, I'm going to create my abilities. You already have them. We just have to fine tune them, you know? So when you look at that, you have to remember, you don't exist unless I exist in my world. Okay? Every time you start to weave in and out of the quantum field of potential, you take a particle. And something that's in a wave, you take it into a particle, and this is based on how you observed, you over-attached and over-identified with it, and you have created a decision and a belief and your willpower to it. So you are all aspects of me in some form. Why? Don't think linear. Don't just think this life. Your soul has traveled. You have soul groups. You have soul groups upon soul groups, and we are all traveling together. Why? Because we're connected up to the grid. We are connected to the one. Okay. And as we do this, we get to see all of the things that like, I reject. Oh, I've been there, done that. Oh, I like that. But I got to try something new. It's the kaleidoscope of life. And you are the catalog of life. And I can go through and say, oh, been there, done that. Oh, I need to get some wisdom off of that one. Oh, I don't need to repeat that one. Well, I may not like it, but I'll do it anyway. And you can say, oh, but I'm waiting for this one. You have no idea how much you can resolve to evolve and heal instead of deal. And if you are sitting there, people don't realize how flippant they can be with their words. So if they're sitting there bitching about something, oh my God, understand it could just be a pattern of how you comment. It may be part of that personality, but your personality creates your personal reality. So if you don't really like what you see, you need to start being aware of where you're putting your energy to create your magic. You're such magical beings. You know that? Spirit just changed the frequency. Now, I feel a lot of people, non-fleshies, dead people, family, friends, relatives, loved ones, groups. Anyway, they're all piling in. They said they're late. Well, that's funny. I didn't even know. I'm sorry, guys. I hadn't even realized you weren't here. Well, hello. Let's all welcome them. They're here. I would curious, why would they even be late? But hey, they have their things, Oh, Tennessee. I love driving through all that country. Ooh, I don't know if I've ever been in Vermont. Do you know December is coming? And that's the only time I miss snow is Christmas. But Vermont just took me to this beautiful cottage, the warm, the freezing, not the horror, but the wonderful good stuff. Ohio. Oh, I love America. I love the people. I love the animals. I love the nature and beautiful stuff. And we have got to get connected again. We have to learn great respects. Thank you, Spirit. Oh, guess what? Now we can answer your question, Natasha. Well, it wasn't a question, but everything just shifted. Okay. When you are all aspects, so you have to understand your inner world creates your outer world, and whatever we are choosing, whatever program we're choosing to be in, it will weed out people and bring people in. That's why I asked on my fan page, what movement do you think Spirit's doing through me? Because there's a movement. Spirit is creating a movement through me, and that's part of my purpose. Did I know it 10 years ago? No, but I just knew to follow on that path because I was going to get there. And when you have to stand in ego, you wake up and you're like, oh, wow, we're numbers. Okay, so it's kind of on the verge of a little bit judgment, a little bit of discernment, but then you begin to wake up. Now, it depends on the brainwave, and which is the tipping point. If you find that you're just numbers, what does that really mean? Okay, so let's just take a look at that. your belief system is saying, oh, you're starting to notice that you have to live through others. Okay, so we're just, and people don't care. People are in their own shit. That is an interesting paradigm, isn't it? One of the things in that paradigm is narcissism. That it was a huge paradigm that's been playing out for such a long time, and it's starting to change. But you're waking up and saying, I don't really need to live through others. And I don't have to be a cookie cutter and follow the numbers. And I don't have to be out here. I can, and then when the more that you start to realize people don't care, your inner world is saying, where is it I don't care? Where is my fed up? Where am I intolerance? And then spirit says, oh, okay, good. Now that you've noticed that, how about you take that emotion, those feelings or the thoughts and the feelings that people think, oh, you have to have hate as feeling. But when you think about people don't care, that's an actual state of feeling. You can really feel how people don't care and or intolerance. And you begin to heal that out. And when you begin to heal that out, it changes the thought. But if you don't heal that out and that vibration happens, you're still going to have more thoughts. And then you're going to go out and tell the universe, please, I want more. And the universe says, okay, give her more people that don't care. Let's really hit her to the level of intolerance because that's what she wants. And then you start to collect and collect and collect. Now, sometimes that's very important because how do you know to transform your world? How do you take something that's unconscious, incompetent, and change it to be competent, and conscious? And that is sometimes you have to get to enough's enough stage. I was with my ex for 20 years and finally enough's enough. And I said, that's it. I'm done. Oh, he hated those words. I'm done. And I said, Spirit, show me how to get out of here. And I had to do a lot of closing of things. I had to learn how to let go of everything towards him. It wasn't just surrender and let go. There was work. It was a process, and you can too. And when you begin to really shift that, you don't even notice them anymore. You go over here and you start finding your tribe, and you find like-minded people. And then all of a sudden, that energy starts to balance and to hold a grid that helps raise consciousness. You're shifting, babe. And what is the purpose of life? Well, what is the purpose for your life? Even a screw and a screwdriver have purposes when they work together. They have purpose. Sometimes you have to work together to find your purpose. And right now, individually, it is returning to love. And you got to find out all of the things that cause you to not see love or put love and respect into it. And love sometimes just goes into, wow, Spirit has really created this, So I love the fact that I get to see where everybody's from. Let's see. Yeah, it's all real. Okay, I asked people and they said I was being negative and they don't want to think of things like that. Okay, I don't mean to laugh. Sorry. I agree. It hurts. It hurts to feel it, but don't make it not true. Okay, so here's the thing. That transitional state, okay, when I started to write my dissertation years ago, I said, what is reality? So I go up to people and I say, what is reality? Now I'm asking people that really are not like-minded like me or in my groups or, or my family. And they're like, why would you ask a question like that? And I'm like, Spirit says, notice they're not awake. So you're not going to be in alignment with that. Would you let that go? Because that's not where you're supposed to be. So then I would have people would say, that's too deep for me, which is completely different thing. But, let that go because you had that's not where they are. And then finally I goes back to the people that were hungry for this, like I was. And the Spirit goes, ooh, there's your tribe. And I'm like, so you had me ask that question just so I could find out, about vibrations and frequencies and where you're at. And what I noticed is that every time I would talk to those people that were in that particular paradigm or in that state of where they needed to be, that wasn't in the same alignment with me, and it was, they would say negative things. In that one particular world, negativity is positive. Weird. But it just drives them further in hell. And what happens is that everything that's not love, their brain, when you start to dwell, repeat, think, and have fear, it drives it further into the brain, and the limbic system begins to store it even more. And your nervous system is saying, oh my God, but it just is literally, being bombarded. It's like pushing on your foot on the gas and the brake at the same time. You're going to wear everything out. And as you move forward, you'll get into a state where when you start letting go of those emotions that control the thoughts, those thoughts will calm down. Your heart will realign, your vibration and your frequency will increase. That's what you want. And when the frequency starts to increase, and all of a sudden everything starts to shift and you get to align to a better world. But you can't do it with the same mind that created the hells. You have to heal the emotion so the mind is free. So you're taking the chains off. Okay? You're taking the chains off. Kevin says, I feel that I am right there fumbling about the toolbox. I'm aware of that. My current health state is providing me with the opportunity to heal the fear factors. Good. And did you know that your body is messaging you, talking to you at all times? Like cancer is conflict. It means two sides of you are trying to control your human meat suit, and you're out of harmony, and that frequency jams your meridians, which then jam the physical symptom or the physical body. So if you were to say, if it's a left side, right side, if it's a gland or organ, you could dive deeper of what your body is actually telling you. So your body is always having messages. So the metaphysical meaning of things are very important to find out. Oh, Steve, if I didn't know you, I'd be thinking, but I know you. So, and people, if you are in the ego state mind, which is that false self, and you were to hear what I say, you've been here enough, you've heard my readings, you know that it doesn't hurt you. You're like, shit, you're putting the connections together, you're awakening, you're starting to notice what happens. Whereas if a person isn't awake and they heard me, they'd go, oh, that bitch. How dare she point out my flaws? How dare she hurt me? That was wrong and evil. And I've been there. I've seen that. I know what that side's like. And it's like, I choose not to live there, and I choose to be over here. So I said, I asked Spirit, how do I get out of that? Because I feel like that's insanity to me. Spirit says, oh, you were listening. Okay, here's some tools. So I did it. Okay. And your feet mean something, and that's what I feel like I'm going to have is in those group classes that are going to help you understand the message of your body. Like I put what a back pain is. I mean, there's a ton more information about what back pain, but you need to understand personally what all that means. And, so like, for instance, if I were to say to Kevin, I don't know what your physical issue is, but if you gave me more specifically, I could, but I am just going to look at Kevin and say, okay, so what is his soul kind of telling him about it? There's a lot of anxiety of when you were 2 and at 5. And that is powering how your body is physically right now. And if I go a little deeper, they said that you have accumulated contempt from people, which got absorbed inside your body because that was the environment. And you may not have realized it was contempt. So I would look up the word contempt, and then you can see a little bit further. When you go to Rachel Cowie, she says, I have trouble with pain in my feet. And they're saying, well, you're in an indifferent state, and it has to do with your liver meridian. That's the energy is clogged. So then I would have you deliberately rub a certain point on top of your foot so it start breaking it up. But then I would have you look at why your liver meridian is doing it. And they said, well, like I said, there's a helpless indifference. And there is the, oh my God, of when you were 3. So you have trapped emotions, trapped timelines, trapped things that get caught all the time that need to be resolved out. So at the time, and when she said have cancer, the thing is I'd say, where was it? That gives it a more specific. But in her case, we looked just at overall conflict that was going on. It was that you were living in a world that you were not supposed to be important. Everybody else was. And you gave up energy to prove that. But then you cried, and your body was crying because you had to give up who you were and what you wanted so that you could live in a world that other people had. And so then you have to look at that angle. And you had great panic because there was a part of you from a past life that said, if I ended up having kids, there's a part of you that thought you needed through the paradigm that says, oh, I got to have kids. And if I don't have kids, which is the next logical step, what's wrong with me? Then you focus on things you don't need to be focused on. So you could really get very specific, or you can get very general. Okay. So, well, that's odd. I'm looking at all the comments and it says new comments. You have 70. I'm like, well, click the button. Where are they? Okay. So best way for you to help me and that I can help you is understand if you take, and I don't know what the new rules are, but how do you get this video out there? How can you promote me? How can you get, how can you get and me and you work together to create a purpose, to create this movement? I know a lot of commenting helps out. I know a lot of, like, my bottom of my screen, there's a lot of things missing. It says that there's 71 comments, and obviously I'm not getting them. This whole thing, I'm so glad you can hear me though. But Spirit says, hit the love button, hit all this. Oh, that's wonderful. Kevin, he says cervical neck issues. Interesting. So what's in, you don't have, okay. No. You have problems in the 3rd and the 6th. And that energy of the liver, it affects it, and the gallbladder. The invading energies. Yes, you have invading energies that is there. And it creates, so you have to stick your neck out, or you can't stick your neck out to really be you. There's so much to that. That's interesting. That energy is stuck. I only see it moving on one side versus the other. Now, I have scoliosis in my neck, and I noticed that I was missing zinc, and which then caused my body to not carry the calcium and the magnesium and the vitamin D that I needed to the proper places in my body. I take glucosamine, and so now that I've added zinc, now when I take stuff, my body starts to, it's repairing on the inside. It's literally starting to change. But before that, my body wouldn't hold it. But then I had to heal a major thing. And a major thing in my life, and it had to do with, we always come in with a theme. Mine was the gallbladder meridian. And the main thing that it had to deal with was feeling completely overwhelmed and completely irrelevant and feeling constantly overpowered in any situation. And it was, so I had to go back to very specific points in order to do that. Again, it says I have comments. Okay, so now that it's 41 minutes in, thank you for letting me go over a little bit. That's where we're going to, I didn't turn that on. That's where we're going to turn, hold on. Got to get it so we can see it. So, and the 1 minute reads, good job. They're starting to come in. That's good. I'm going to go over and see if any expedites. Yes, there is. What do we got here? No, that's not it. Aha. That came in yesterday or today. That was odd. Sorry, talking to myself here, people. I'll get there. So we got three expedites to do. Now, somebody asked me, well, what if I want longer? I will allow up to 2 6 minutes. So 2 of those. So you can pay one time if so some people just send 20 and say, here, I want 2 readings. Okay, we'll do that. You're all welcome. Spirit loves talking all the time. So now I'm going to switch modes because Rachel Mary's first, and she paid yesterday, and she wanted to talk about spirit for my grandma. Okay, so we're going to... Great. Okay, what's going on with my thing here? Oh, clear. It's clear. No, it's clear. That's interesting, though. Okay, so if you see me jerk, it has nothing to do with she's possessed. No. My nervous system is finely tuned into. Hey, there you are, Rachel. Finely tuned into spirit, and sometimes the frequencies I have to realign up. Some of them are telling me yes, no to the degree of 0 to 10. That's how you do this. Stupid thing. I hope I can. Thank you, Rachel. I'm so glad that you're here. And again, I am waiting for you. Have an angel that's coming through, but for some reason, I don't understand. Ever since the new light codes have been kicking on the planet, which means a lot of you are going to be waking up further, and you're going to have abilities, and you're going to go be hungry for this. Okay. And before we get any Oh, so Spirit says, okay, Allison Plumley. Okay, you have hope. This isn't false hope. Allison says, I have osteoarthritis, depression, anxiety, and chronic pain 24/7. Here's the first thing you got to understand. Your emotions will actually cause you to have symptoms. Your emotions will cause you to have issues. Okay, depression. First of all, do you have to be perfect? Do you have to be under pressure to be something more? Do you try to force yourself into doing that? And are you looking for approval or looking for someone to love you? Depression usually ends up being something else. The anxiety is it's about the future. It's about how you were trained to think the impending doom, that loss and stuff is going to constantly be in the future. And so you've trained yourself to look at the future and say, oh my God, is it going to snow tomorrow? Do you have the ability to drive through snow? Do you have other ways of knowing that if it does snow, I'm not going to go out, or I can, or it doesn't matter the degree of the snow. But notice how you are just programmed to run to the end of the timeline and just think one thing. Pull it back. There's a part of you that's like, I am so tired of the negativity that I live in my space that I need to check out. Okay. And that's fine. But if we healed some of this stuff, then you're going to start growing and you won't have to check out of your own life. The pain in the body is saying, oh my God, all of the meridians are just all screwed up. They have something. So you're in pain 24/7. Your large intestine meridian is frozen. Your stomach meridian is frozen. And your liver meridian is frozen. What does frozen mean? It means there's no energy. You're made of energy. There's no energy coming through at all. And it's just like frozen. Now, everything else is trying to work. Everything else is trying to work, and it's burning every other thing part of you out. Using a magnet on that source point of those meridians and then learning how to trigger those source points to get the energy moving, you can unfreeze that. So did I do what you wanted? Yes. Okay, I have. Oh, okay. Now, Rachel, here we go. Oh, no, Kevin, when it comes time for you to do, you paid. And when it comes time, you just get ready. Throw the question out there when you know it's your time. And that way we can boom, 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 boom. Okay. Thank you, Rachel. Yes. I got the timer, people. Now, when it comes to the spirit of the grandma, she says, that she's with you all the time. That's not the question. Oh, she knows that I love her. What are you showing me? I don't know what that is. Okay, this is where charades come in, very handy. Okay, first it looks like dust bunnies, just dust balls. And then all of a sudden it looks like you've gathered stuff and you're trying to make something. Now, I want to say crochet, but that's not true. It just shows me that you have collected stuff and it has a smell to it. I don't know what you're saying, woman. She's a fear of losing something, fear of losing her hair, the fear of losing something. And that's why she won't clean something up. Okay, I'll let you have that because I don't know what that is. She says she used to always tell you something. Her voice changed somewhat at the end, if that's the case. Didn't sound the same. I'm not sure, but my eyes are glazing over as if I had eye issues, glaucoma, any of that stuff. I don't know. I'm getting eye issues. My voice doesn't, I mean, it sounds the same to me, but in my heart, she's saying it was like gravelly or something. Okay. Quit smoking. Is that it? Yes. Okay. She's got it. Next one. Oh, good. That means I get to keep my voice. She said, there are certain habits that you keep losing power on. She says, I know this because I did it. She shows me that she might have been a bit, I don't want to say arrogant, angry, scowly. I'm not very good apparently with this charade with you. Just tell me what it is you did that feeling that other people's behavior. And so I just kind of started closing down and I just didn't want to take anybody in. All right. What else about you? You disapproved of a lot of things, but that was just because it was my identity. And I want her to wake up and get rid of the panic that she's going to be just like her or your mother or whatever. No, because you got a chance. If you're here, okay, meaning here, if you're listening to this and you're waking up, that must mean that you're choosing that you want something better. Now her, oh, wait, what? Where are we going? You're a charmer. You have such charm, but you keep hiding it. You have this self-esteem. It's interesting because there is an extrovert there, but you're no. What are you trying to say? She's controlled and owned by awkward. Oh, so when you think about this, have you ever had awkward in your life? Because she's saying that that's a family trait. There's just this awkwardness and it was passed down. That's an epigenetic thing, but it still can be healed. So some people say, well, I've never been awkward. So I'm going to say, have you ever been awkward being naked in front of people? Have you ever been awkward standing up talking to people? Have you ever been awkward when you really like somebody and you're afraid that you're going to fuck it up? Okay, so identify the fact is that you don't probably realize you have been doing that, because she says that it's part of the epigenetics, that your body's consciousness is going to constantly be holding this as a symptom, and it'll show up in your physical world as well as in your physical body. And wait, what? Okay, they said, look, your boobs just grew. And I looked and so you must have been awkward when you went through puberty. And without realizing it, you have a hum in the back, which is about worry. So there's a part of you that says, I need to plan my day. She says, but then there's this line of worry, which really is interesting because I'm not quite... I don't know what you're saying there because it's not quite what I can see it. She broadcasts out. She has a broadcast message that sends out, which then draws to her things to worry about. Oh, so basically her brain is predicting it and therefore it's creating it. And if your brain is predicting it, you may not be aware that thoughts are becoming things. So I would look at the word awkward. She says, honey, life over here is good. She says, when we die, we wake up and you don't have those worries and fears because you're all linear. You're into this way station of Earth that is meant to be in the emotional and mental bodies. She says, when you return, you basically return to an energy of love. Now, I can show you cranky pants all you want, but you came here to want to grow, and that's what I want. She says you don't realize it, but there's a habit that you've collected that over time that you're maybe afraid to get your hopes up because now you're in the overtime hopelessness. Why go after those things? Because Yes, I'll explain. She says, when you want your purpose and you want, and anything about your family, anything about that, you want something, you will say that this is the end result, and which then stops all of the things that are supposed to recalibrate to give you that, because you say it has to show up a certain way, which causes you not to be able to see. So you put your blinders on. And so then you judge it and you go into a certain space without realizing it, because you also feel awkward that if you were to look at it, it may disappear. So there's a lot to let go of. If any of this makes sense, please make comments back, because that helps out in the learning the communication process. Just recently, okay, now my back hurts. Just recently, you felt like you couldn't talk back. So there's a part of you that couldn't get defensive the way that you wanted to get defensive. But you're also trying to restrain yourself of not having bad behavior. Understand that that is not good, because you're just going to suppress it. You need to heal out the energy that causes it to do that. She says, now your turn. My turn. There's a lot of overwhelm and the unfairness and dread. So those things are going to control how your purpose is going to unfold, because you have to solve those issues, close those issues before you can do your purpose. Understand? And if your mindset is an ego, you can't hear your purpose, because your spiritual mindset is being duct taped. Good job, Susan. And do you have to be a martyr? Huh, Rachel? Because that's an archetype that's actually part of that old paradigm. That's with the narcissist paradigm. It needs to go. And learning to take action differently. Learning more into your inner world, create your outer world. And if your outer world sucks, you got to go inside and heal that. They said that around age 13, there was some type of incident that caused you to go into everything equals everything, which is an engram, which means whatever the incident is that scared you, it's going to be triggered by this, and this, and this. Now, if there was a smell in the air, there'll be certain smells that'll make you go there. If you were eating something, have you ever thrown up like mac and cheese and you're like, I can't eat mac and cheese for a couple of weeks because you're like, oh, every time you think of that. Okay. So that's what an engram is it's related to that. So they're saying, be aware that they're triggers, and these triggers need to be looked at. And if you know it's a trigger, try to do your best to do a connection, because you can change that by changing the inside of you. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Thoughts, emotions, my life. Wasn't that considered thoughts and okay? What about it? You feel like there's karma. Not sure if that's true or not, because I'm not really having a communication process here. Karma. Okay, so look at your belief of karma. And understand is that karma is an interesting thing, because the more you believe in, this is too hard to explain right now. Just notice how your definition of karma, and understand that you're not having to pay the price from a past life. It is understanding the kaleidoscopes, and you're going to take your wisdom from it. They said that because if you have certain beliefs on karma, you can actually change the way your attraction factor is. And again, to see more of it, if that makes any sense. Because that's connected into awkwardness. Ooh, how interesting is that? So if you were to start to understand your purpose a little bit more, it's about having the relationship with a mate. And how would you do that? You have to first understand that you need to do some major life changes within inside of you that allows you to be ready for this perfect mate. I don't care if you're in a relationship or not a relationship, but getting yourself ready inside will help set the frequency so that joy and happiness can be in your space. How does Grandma like Chris? It's fine. He's fine. Okay, so can you tell us says, yes. Well, in order to make that relationship better, she says, you have to decide what does he look like through your ego versus spirit? And if you're going down a spiritual path, is he going with you? If he's not like-minded, understand that you're going to be stuck in this chaos and you won't move, you'll stay stuck. If you start to ask questions about how you move, do you want kids? Do you want this? Asking certain questions very specifically, you'll begin to grow in the direction together. She said, you guys drop out of sync a lot and you have to learn how to sync back up. She says, don't compromise, do the third option. Look what the issue is, see if there's a third option instead of either one of you losing power. Okay, next expedite paid is, okay, that was her. And Amy. I'm not sure why it came less than $9. Well, isn't that interesting? Okay, so I'm going to say 6 minutes. No. What do you want to give her? Because if it's not, it's $9 for 6 minutes. I'm going to give her. Okay. It's part of the old school. They said until it gets completely transformed, because I had that information and then it got screwed up. They said, just allow it. So there you go. And we will go. And then Kevin, understand you'll be after her. So get your question and stuff ready. Amy, if you want to call it, should be on. Let it go that way. You're welcome, Rachel. If it makes sense, thank you. If it does, leave me feedback somewhere, and if you already gave me a recommendation and they only allow you to do it once, then put at the bottom that it's about, no, don't worry about adding Amy. Then put on my page, just directly on my wall. You should be able to anyway. And give me feedback if you want. Then that way I can have, if there's any more details I need to give, that'd be great. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Hold on. Hang in there, people. My screen won't work. There it is. Okay, come on. Answer. I think I did it. Oh, shoo, I did.
Hi.
Hi, darling. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. Okay, so what would you like to talk about? It's funny. She never knows. What?
Mama.
Okay. You want to know how she's showing up to you? Do you need to say there's somehow she's showing up and I need to find out why? Or, okay, that one? Okay, so we're talking about self-pride. Do you know what self-pride issue is? Hello, Hello, Lily. So your self-pride, they're telling you to look at how you correct yourself to appease the situation. There's nothing wrong with that, but if you want to grow, you can't keep living the same old way.
Right.
And they're saying that you distrust your path, your spirit, because you haven't had enough experience yet. So that's a normalcy. But I would definitely heal out how you distrust, and in that case, it'd be R2S. Now, they said that, so let me ask you, do you worry at all?
I worry at all?
Yeah, I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay, so she said yes, viewers. So the question is, she's been spiritually on this path. The question is, why are you still worrying? Because it's part of your personality. You say you don't know. As you wake up, you're going to ask these questions. Why am I worrying? Is it necessary to worry? Like the other day, yeah, you says, oh, if it's going to snow. And I said, don't you already have an answer for that? Because you already know how to drive in snow. You already know what's going to happen if it's 2 feet, above your head. You know what's going to, you already know the answer.
Right.
And so are you just doing what the paradigm says is that you're supposed to worry because that's what you're supposed to do?
I think so.
Okay, so when I gave you that feedback, did you continue to worry about it?
No.
No, you actually what? Let it go? because you knew it was taken care of. So you knew how to trust. It's just that you know how to do the behavior of that personality better.
Right.
So that means you're changing out that personality. Okay, there you go. Now, if we were to look at, because our question still is that you have to understand you're still projecting yourself to inside your world. There is called worthless, and you haven't quite discovered that you're not. And anybody that knows you're not. You got incredible talent, but you don't need to be told. You have to discover this for yourself.
Right.
Okay, and you have to own that. But they said that you have a hard time doing that because you are so stuck just being an auto response, like worry. But you have to actually beginning to hear your language. Are you talking that you're worthless? You just listen to that flippant words. Are you actually putting you in your position so people make you be worthless because you think you need their love? How did you judge yourself today? Being worthless. You did something. I see you judged yourself today and you made yourself thinking that you're worthless. Oh, so I'm going to do it anyway. And you may not even be aware.
No, I'm not.
Okay, so that means you have to train yourself. Thank you, Spirit, for showing me where is it that I'm vibrating worthless and that I create people to help show me that I am or they think I am. Thank you, Spirit, so be it. And what happens is now you're going to allow yourself to intentionally become aware. Now, we didn't promise to heal. You just promised to see. And there's different ways of communicating with Spirit with that. So just be aware that, what is this? So it's a state of how if you feel confused and as you wake up, and that's that transitional state, if you begin to become confused, you're going to go old habit. You want to go back to what's comfortable. It's what you know. So if you know that you're supposed to feel worthless and you're supposed, some people say, we got to trust your gut. And it just doesn't feel right. No, I'm not going to do that. Do you understand? If you're in your spirit mind, you'll know that is, we have to really adventure because it's a different state. Your ego is telling you that it doesn't feel right and you're supposed to trust your gut. You're not tuned into your gut properly. So you're just going, I know what hell feels like and this is heaven. Heaven don't feel right to me. I know hell and I'm going to go back to hell. So that's what your body's doing. That is what's happening on the inside. And I said, okay. I wish I could write my handwriting so I actually can read my own darn handwriting. It's a word I couldn't spell, so I tried to phonetically spell it. That's why I don't understand it. Okay, hold on. Mediocre. So you try to stay mediocre, huh?
Yeah. So
notice the choice, how comfortable with that choice. You gave it your willpower. Okay. You're keeping that alive, but you're saying you want a new spiritual life. So spiritually mind, you're doing certain things, but you're going back to old programming. Did you know you made that decision to be mediocre?
No.
Okay. So when you have something that you made that decision, understand it becomes a limited decision and it becomes a limited belief. Now you need to spiritually investigate how you do it and say, shit, I'm doing it. I don't want to do that. And then, or maybe look up what mediocre means and take yourself to the next level of saying, I don't want to be mediocre. What's the next best thing I can do? So you need a little bit more education about your own life. Okay?
Uh-huh.
You did good. You are always going to do good.
Thanks.
All right. I love you, girl. And we'll talk to you
Love you
later.
too.
Stay blessed.
Stay blessed.
Okay. What is that? So anyway, interesting. I'm going to look at the next one. Hey, Kevin and darling, you paid, and I'm going to get you your, it's already set. So Kevin, let's talk about it now. If you guys want to expedite, it's you just pay $9 and you get 6 minutes. and you get to be moved to the top. We will be getting into the 1-minute reads in just a few moments. So start sending your questions now so that I can begin to answer them. Okay? Let's go over here. And Kevin, okay, what one particular thing must I address to heal during the time of transformation? Okay, so interesting enough, I'm just going to go right there. Physically, I'm mirroring stuff. That energy has just hit me right here. And it's just below the rib cage, but I'm asking, is this liver? Yes. So my body says that the liver meridian in you. So I'm going to look, is there any frozen meridians? No, but the energy is sluggish and it's not processing through. So like, for instance, if you were to take medicine or any of that stuff, what will cause is that you'll begin to have more headache pain because you can feel the blood veins, and when, especially on the left side, when medicine and stuff is coming through, you're going to feel them and they'll hurt. Okay. It should be taking the pain away, but somehow your liver is not processing properly the blood and it's just recycling old shit. So that's just the energetically thing I see. And then if I ask, well, why is that happening? And the liver says, I'm doing it because you too are being mediocre. How interesting is that? Oh, okay, so the indigestion. So what causes the liver to do that? So again, we have to look back. So the liver is being caused by that because of the stomach. Worry. And is the stomach doing that because of the spleen, which is self-loathing? And is the spleen doing anything? Yes, it's being affected by triple warmer, which is I cannot create the results I want. You can't have self-efficacy. And is there something causing that, which goes back to liver, that people exert their power, or because I'm a male, I'm supposed to use my power. I'm supposed to exert my energy. And you're moving out of the state of, God, that's freaking tiring. I don't want to live that. So look at how you used to live in any of those things that I said, because your body says it doesn't want to do that anymore. It says the most thing that it's tired of is that over time, the instability, the feeling of that everything's unstable, and you got to constantly look at that. Oh, it's unstable. Go to correct it, fix it, do all this. Oh, it feels stable just for a second. And then you breathe and you're like, relax. And then it goes unstable again. And that just means there is an addiction to that, what you looked at. So we have to look at why you're looking at what's unstable. And they said at age 2 is what created the muddled instability. And something about the family environment. So it's like something that you got to feel like you got to correct. And so you keep, and no matter how old you are, your 2-year-old program says that I have to go into this state and I need to fix this. And so you said, at that age, I've come up with a plan. And you said that because it's muddled, I have to, and that's all the steps that I said. And so you made this program at 2 of all the things I just said. And it shows up that over time, you got your foot on the gas and the brake, and it's wearing down the meat suit, which is your car. Okay. It's wearing it down. And you have not had a lube job, tune-up, brakes change. You haven't had any of that. It doesn't matter. And we forget that we are a clock, okay? Every 2 hours, our meridians are on a clock. And they try to do their best. But if the energies are not supporting and doing what they need to do, then they become the enemy. So the enemy is within. And then what rocked your world at that age? And you're saying, well, I don't remember back then. That's fine. The main thing that you need to understand is that you don't have to live their life. Okay? You don't have to live their life. And if you look at how that means, it's like, okay, so now you're thinking here, but just kind of go back. You don't even have to go back that far. You can just start seeing, who did you bring into your space that said to you, you had to live their way? And if you don't, there's comments. And then it pulls you back in. And then there's people that praise you, but then you may be hooked to a narcissist. But you're like, I would just like one day where I could be me and have it longer than 2 seconds before it goes, muddled again. Okay, does that make sense? So what do you need to really heal? Taking the blame. So you must have been at 2 years old and you took the blame. And it was actually handed to you from what I can feel. You felt it was handed to you, directed to you. And so that means, let me check, where does it go into the body? Goes into the stomach, which is right here. And the pain was over here. But here's the stomach. You took it into your third chakra. You took it in and you lost power, but you had to gain power and you were forced to be in power because you're a male. You have to have a role. And, and there's just certain things. It's like, Jesus, you have to be under pressure to be something that you're like, oh, well, that's okay. I didn't know who I was anyway. But now you're waking up and you're like, I won my life. I'm not a kid anymore. I have a life. So now we just have to go back. So you have to realize taking the blame, and you need to go heal it out. We have a lot of healing tools, or you can set up an appointment with me. But you really need to know how you take the blame in such different ways and different experiences. And you need to tap out the emotion that changes that feeling that I have to take the blame. People make me feel like I have to take. You have to heal out that connection. Because once you do, the brain will stop and it'll calm down, and then the energy from the body changes, and then you don't have to keep producing aspects of people to show up to say this is how it's supposed to look. Okay. Hey, those are great comments. Oh my God, yes. Oh yes, Jesus. Oh yes. Okay. Excellent. Now, don't waste this. Go use it. And if you're not sure quite how to do that, set up an appointment. You don't have to suffer, my dear. You are important in this world. You have a light to shine, and we need you to shine so we can raise this consciousness together. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to shift the world with love. The next person on the list, Amy, you didn't have to do that, but thank you, sweet girl. Cecily Garcia. Yay, sweet girl. I haven't seen you in a while. And where are we at? Shrink the screen. There we go. You're welcome, Kevin. Hey, leave me a recommendation. That would be great. Well, let's pay it forward together here. Now, Cecily, where are you? You're over here? Cecilia. Oh, she works at different times. I don't see her. Let's see. I'm going to see if she gave me instructions. Just for a second here. Just paid. If she just paid, that means she's awake. Oh, she goes under a different name. That's right. All right. Well, I'll have to wait for David to catch up. I'm hoping I'm not missing everything. Did she write it? I swear, girl, you have different names for yourselves. And I'm wondering if you need to start pulling yourself into becoming one. Oh. Aim, girl, you're not doing your job. There she is. There she is. That comment needs to be changed, and I can't get it for some reason. My computer has locked up on the comment section, but I didn't put how much it costs, so people have no clue. So put down $9 for 6 minutes if you can fix that, because I can't. All right, my dear Lillian, what would you like? What do you want me to talk about? The job. You're not happy about something there? Something happened? Ooh, is it the mother-in-law? There's a frustration that's causing me to have heartburn at this point. I don't have heartburn, but I can feel it. It's taken my ability away. Oh, you bet. Okay, good. She said she's going to send it. All right, we'll do that. That means I got to look. Nope, not yet. Because she would be under something else. Okay. Wow. So is this? No. Wow, that's interesting, because now I can feel the liver. Is that mine? No. Now she has something similar going on. I got to find out what that is. So I'm curious of what her question is now. because that energy just feels a little, what do you call it, jambled? So anybody here that wants a 1-minute read, then you email it. You can look at the bottom of the screen, and this is the problem, is that if you have a cell phone, you won't notice what I wrote, and then because my stuff got erased, I can't write it to the top. And so Amy, you're going to need to put up there so people know that they want a 1-minute read, send it to here, and if you want it paid, put that there. That would be great. Let's see. I'll look and see if it's come in yet. And I don't see your question yet, darling. And I'm going to have to do the 6-minute in a second because I don't want too much time to go by. Sometimes with emails, it takes forever. All right. Yeah, this whole thing's screwed up. I'm just glad it's recording. Yeah, I'm glad it's recording. I don't like dead sound, dead air. And Spirit is making me not talk for a particular reason. And it's not that I'm just waiting. There's something going on energetically. I don't know what's going on. Is it good? No, something's shifted. Somebody's doing damage control. Planet? In the room? In somebody's life. Why is it affecting mine? I need to pay attention. I need to pay attention to how certain incompatible energies are functioning at this point. Why is that? Somebody's afraid of fear of losing control. Interesting. And let's see. Okay, so we'll have to get back to that. She says, love healing. I have been sick all week. I got a cold and I can barely get out of it. Still haven't heard anything about the job offer. That's what I felt like. It should have came through, but wonder why. But she hopes to hear this week. Oh, man, yeah, that's very interesting. Okay. Does the love have anything to do with work? No, just this. So there's something going on. So you want me to just address you? Okay, so we're going to just address the love. And Spirit loves to use these cards for whatever reason. And we're just going to look. There's just stress going on. Let your friends help you. Does that include me? Is there other friends? Yeah. So you feel like, do you have a support system to talk to? Because I don't want you to have a support system where you can have a bitch session, but I need you sometimes to be able to talk. In the love relationship, in your love, are you able to get support from your loved one? Okay. You know, your husband and all that. Are you able to get support? And there's some type of dynamic going on because there's a part of your soul that says, I don't really want to be in a codependent relationship. And so they're saying that you need to be aware of, is somebody addicted to somebody else and that you get put on the back burner accidentally. It's interesting because you're like, well, why would I be second best and why would I be put on a back? Oh, is the mother-in-law still around? Because then that would make sense because it's a program that creates loyalty. It's culture as well. Good job, Ronnie. Worthless. You? What are you saying that has to do? Draw another card. So the word worthless. What are you talking about? So You've been deceiving yourself. Okay. We're going to stop right there. So you're saying that the sickness has to do with the fact is that she doesn't want to face something. And so now her body, because of the way the spirit is, the planets are moving, if you haven't healed certain shit, it'll show up in sickness. Yes, the mother-in-law. Okay, so here's the thing: it's just that you're tired of feeling attacked. And it's now starting to get to your physical body. The relationship is that you're finally hitting more and more is enough's enough. And there's a part of you that thinks if she doesn't leave, I'm going to. And then it gets very confusing because the emotions are bitch slapping you. This relationship creates this low self-esteem and then creates this heaviness inside of you, which is also affecting how you're going to get the job. Because the thing is that the question then, are you supposed to stay in that household? Yes. Are you supposed to? But you have to clear out the intolerance. That intolerance, your soul is saying, we're creating this predicament over and over because you haven't learned how to process out intolerance. And about 1 year old is when I think in your family growing up, you felt like there was just way too much intolerance going on, and you learned that you didn't like it. You didn't like this negative behavior. You didn't like something. And then you have a broadcast message that goes out that I don't like it. I'm not accepting this. And so it sounds like so if you're going to have that, just think broadcast message and what I just said, and then take your hand or refrigerator magnet. You can just use one side, and you can say broadcast message is that I'm not going to be second best, and I can't tolerate being second best, and I'm not going to, it's just that this broadcast message keeps making the relationship of the mother-in-law kind of stick. So roll that out 10 times, okay? There is a lot. Yeah, she's correct. Okay. He feels worthless most of the time. Yes. And see, and that pisses you off because you want to help heal that, but he's got to heal that within himself. But at the same time, your body's like going, it just feels gross. So what can she do to start clearing that up besides roll out the broadcast message? I said besides that, and that is you got to stop seeing her as the enemy. This goes back to when you were one. So the idea is if you see her as the enemy, then you're going to have to keep collecting proof. So to heal out that I see her as the enemy, hold right wrist, first position, nice and soft. And notice how you started to, and then notice the eye. Which eye is looking more to see, just literally, how do you see her as the enemy? Because one eye is going to be stronger than the other eye. Now, sometimes you can have the same strength of that I see her as the enemy. But if you begin to pay attention, as you're holding that point, deliberately choose one eye to look through, put it on a scale from 0 to 10, and then just stare it down, and then wait a good couple minutes, and then just switch it over. Look through, same story, through the other eye. And as you do this, and then you go back and forth, your brain already knows that to remove, transcend, let it go. Your brain already knows me. So it's as you start to switch your eyes, as you're holding that point, looking and checking to see if the numbers change, you're literally going to get that picture out of your eyes. And then because you're holding this, it's going to help the body to resolve certain emotions that you have with it, so that you can actually begin to detach. Now you can go over to my webpage, medicinewomanforyou.weebly.com, and look under healing tools, and you'll see where it's cord switching. You need to do that with her. But you also have to understand, who is this woman to me from my past? Same signature. Who is she? Who is she? And then you're going to find out, and then you're going to actually heal that cord from that person in the past, whether they're dead or alive. You understand that? Okay. Yes, time's up. Yes, I heard the ring. Okay, we're going to look again, and we're going to, this is for Chris Peltz. Okay, so we are going to do, why do I keep doing that? We have 6 minutes. For Chris Peltz, it's a paid reading. Okay. Do I have the pleasure? of having Chris here or not? That would be a good question, because sometimes but if I don't, I'll look up. But if Chris Peltz is here, then that's fine. But otherwise, the message is to talk to have spirit speak. So that's what we're going to do. Interesting, because I asked who wants to come forward, because we didn't ask anybody directly. And what happens is that I see a baby. I see a child. But then I see somebody holding this child. And I ask if there's anything to say. Now, of course, the baby, I can't hear cuckoo, caca. I don't know what that means. And then I ask who's the representative that wants to talk to me about it. It's in Rachel's phone. Okay. Wow. There's a repression over here or out here. It's a repression. Repression of what? One, there's more to the story. Three emotions felt at once is a psychic trauma, not an attack. A trauma is something that two or more emotions and they get stuck. This trauma, oh wow, we're going to ask for healing already. Self-conscious, so you become very self-conscious. Guilt, self-conscious guilt, and jealousy. The psychic trauma is all three vibrations are at once, and you're going to need to take a magnet, a refrigerator magnet, and then you're going to roll out, you're going to say psychic trauma, and then you'll see those three words, which is self-conscious, guilt, and my brain just said what? Jealousy. Jealousy, self-conscious, and so you go. Psychic trauma. I know. Well, why are you doing that? Anyways, you already know. You just start and you roll. You say psychic trauma and those three emotions. Do it 10 times. Now I'm being held the baby. Okay, so the baby is developing just fine. Oh, on the other side. The baby says that you're whoever this person is I just don't know. Is this person even alive? This is the weirdest feeling. This is weird because it's hard to define. Rachel, I don't know how to say this because when you said it's for Chris. Is Chris alive or dead? Okay, answer me that question. I'm stopping the timer just a minute. Answer that question for me, Rachel, because if this person is alive or dead, and you said it was for Chris and you wanted to talk about spirit, but is that the spirit you want to talk to? Because let me tell you, I keep seeing this baby. I see that the development is happening. It's me. Okay, do you understand? There's something. Okay, so that's you. So are you Chris? Your name is Rachel, or you want to talk to Chris? There's some type of baby over here that's developing, and just fine. This is the weirdest feeling. So you're just using her phone. Oh, so Chris, do you understand this baby thing? So you're a live person using Rachel's phone. Do you understand the baby? Did you lose a baby? Did anybody you know lose a baby? Because a baby's developing. That's what I'm getting. But it's so weird because I feel this other spirit, but I feel like it's a man, but he's holding the baby and he gave me the baby. You're Rachel's husband. Who is this? Who is this? Okay, I don't know what that's even about, but it feels so weird. No baby. So I'm going to ask, you're showing me a baby, and this is supposed to be related to Chris. You need to clarify why, because there's obviously no connection. There is. Did you have a sibling? I just need to ask, do you have a sibling? Because that passed. Okay, not sure. Son is having the baby. Okay. All right, little baby, let me ask you a question. Are you meant to be in? No, this is something, well, you need to, does this have to do with dreams? Were you a life? What is this? Are you metaphorically? The energy outside of Chris, the energy of outside of Chris is in panic. What? Because I put him there? No, in panic. And it's about overtime criticism that causes a non-emotional response, a non-thinking response. So it's like, yeah, it is what it is. But there's that fear of being controlled that causes the self-centeredness within that has caused an excess, which formed a baby, and the baby's developing just fine. So you are a thought form? Oh, I've never had a reading like this before, but no, I totally get it. Now I just got to translate it for you. That's why they stopped the timer. Why would you want to talk? Oh, did you have a family member that passed? Because a family member just said to me that it was about being the same. So there's like a certain attribute, certain character, certain behavior that's the same as somebody that's on the other side. Do you know what does that mean? So the things I just described, does that remind you of somebody? Because this is definitely a male figure. Yeah, that's weird. Chris, talk to me, buddy. You wanted to talk to Spirit. But Spirit says that, I put him in an awkward state. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Well, you'll come back another time? All right, there's a panic. So to address the panic. As we address the panic that's inside that body, it is actually a panic that you picked up in your family home, and it went inside. What it's doing is that it's creating energy space inside your body, which is very unhealthy, and that kind of creates like a physical symptom. Do you have any physical issues? I guess that's what they're asking, or ask me to ask. Because what? Because do you get inflammation from things? Stand back. Do you get inflammation? Chris, some. Do you have any doctor's thing that says there's something wrong with you? Or do you feel like something could be physically there? Because they're saying that it's a sensation and it's nothing to worry about, except for it is an emotion of panic, and literally it makes you feel like there's something else wrong with you. Some issues, heartburn. So this thing, panic, is it creating a tightness? No. Does it creates a symptom issue of arrested development? So you're not able to develop, but it's developing inside. How interesting is this? Now I'm just like having a major freaking hot flash. Why am I having a hot flash? My hormones? No. Oh, so it's a hormonal thing. Okay, make the stop. So hormones. You have another emotion of contempt lodge inside the body. All right, so what does it do? The panic and the contempt, are they together? Yeah, they create to be feel invalid. It creates the hopelessness and a deficiency. So energetically, is your metabolism fast or slow? That's normal. But it causes a deficiency in absorbing healthy stuff because you are so used to the past of unhealthy stuff, not food-wise, but negative environment. So so for those that are trying to figure it out, as well as Chris is, understand this. Your physical body is trying to tell you that this pattern of emotions, but if you listen to the emotions and you were to deliberately put them on a scale from 0 to 10, and you started to connect how these are real, and you then used a healing tool like emotional freedom technique, any of those things, you can tap those emotions down to 0, do several rounds, and the body energy will start to change because all your are is made of energy. So you're disrupting the signal that says repeat, repeat, repeat. You're like, oh, I can try something new. And the body can start correcting itself. Your life will start feeling better. Now, sometimes people can't get it out, and that's where you can work with me. But just understand that this is what's happening, okay? This is what's happening. We need to get you unblocked. So is there any frozen meridians? Yes, you have one. Why are we continuing with this? And it restricts your your spleen, self-loathing. So is it frozen? No. So that's definitely what you got to work on. Anyway, let it go. Stop. Let it go. Okay, well, I have no idea if that made any sense to you. I know how it makes sense to me. That was a trip and a half. So if it makes sense, let me know. If not, sorry. If you want to do a 1-minute read, please look. You send it to medicinewomanforyou@doctor.com. Send your question. Or if you want a page, you can do that. Now I'm going to look to see if there is no more page. We're going to jump on to the 1-minute reads. And we are going to, that's good. So the 1-minute reads. Remember, if you have wanted a 1-minute read, then here it is. And if you've left, then here you go. I don't know what they're saying. They're recovering. We're going to go to TP, Miss Puckins. Is there something I can do for my shoulders? Pain, stiffness, weakness. Okay. What are we going to do with her shoulders? That is an energy thing? Is it an emotion component for displacement? No. And the energy thing in this case, it is self-centered. What? Self-conscious. So the stomach meridian is what's causing it the most. And is it frozen? No. This must be a continuous issue for you, because I'm going to ask, is there anything that's causing the stomach meridian to do this? Yes, lung. And it's about the compulsion. Compulsion for what? Being prideful. So if you have that particular behavior, I'd say tap it out, okay? And lung. So is there anything affecting the lung? The stomach. So which one would you heal? The stomach. The stomach is, again, being very self-conscious. If you don't feel like it is now, but you are the past, you tap that out. Otherwise, you can take and you can start to just manipulate your stomach meridian. Believe it or not, that your stomach meridian can affect all of this area. Between the second and the third toe, there's a point right there. You rub that. And then on top of the foot, if you follow this up, right on top is the feet. Then there's a point there. You just start rubbing the whole point there. The other thing that you need to work on is this one here. Now, if you take from the kneecap down, you hold 4 fingers on the outside of the leg because your pinky toe's here. Then you're going to measure down, and it's right below the 4th. You can kind of see how it looks right there. And you need to rub those a good 30 times, both legs, both feet. And you're going to might have to do it often because your body is so used to you going into this particular behavior. And the other one would be the lung point, which is under the thumb right there. And then you just rub it good 30 times on both sides. Miss P, Amy Patterson. Will it be we or Friday to move in? Okay. I don't do that type of reading, but we'll see. Will it be we or Friday? I'm assuming Wednesday or Friday. So if you can connect into them, there is a part of a moving. And this moving will happen, on a Wednesday? Closer to Friday. I think you're a little anxious and you wish it had been done sooner, but at the same time, they're saying it's all going to work out. Don't push it because it has to work in the frequency. If things change, then it could possibly go for Wednesday, but you're getting your hopes up and all this other stuff. Don't do that. Allow it to be Friday. Allow it to go with the flow. And when you stop trying to do this and stop worrying it, then the universe can rearrange itself to give you something better. But in the meantime, if you're holding worry and all this other stuff and asking that question, you restrict the universe into giving to you because that's what you're saying to it. Don't give to me. Because, so you have to look at how your thinking is. Okay. Miss Patricia Hinson, you said I was sparkling. Tell me more. Yeah, you were sparkling. Are you still sparkling? Yes. There seems to be this joy that's coming through you. And it looks like these strange flows are connecting up like they're supposed to. And strange flows is the energy that doesn't follow just a meridian. It jumps everywhere in the body, and it's designed to you're hardwired for joy, but the paradigm says that you're not. Well, you must have done something in the shift, or the light codes came on, which means that you have awakened enough. And so then I can see the yin and yang and the belt flow and the penetrating flow, they're all glowing, which means for the first time in a while, you're starting to get fed by joy, which is what you want. Okay. It literally, it looks like it came on, and yeah. And you should be feeling like it shouldn't go away now. It should become part of, so it's going to help to waken you up further. This is one of the things that when people start shifting is that the strange flows are going to help wake you up. Let's put it that way. Zan, income tax, ZA income tax. Pilly, spirit guidance. All right. So when we look at this relationship, ooh, it's so good. And to create any hurdles that maybe come along, understand that there is a part of you that's looking for disapproval, looking for them to disapprove of you, because that's what you did as a kid. I would tap that out. Even though I am looking for this person to disapprove of me, okay, because you got signs and all of that, you can even tap out. Even though I know what disapproval looks like, or I know it's coming, I would say get rid of it that way. They said that the disapproval causes you to feel like you distrust because, again, you're waiting for that other shoe to drop. So disrupting that's going to help an incredible part of you to shift in a way that's going to make you happier and healthier, if that makes any sense, and make you stronger. And it'll keep the relation more enjoyable. Relationship, Trestle Shaver at Chavers. Hello, my name is Trelis. Trellis. I would like to know if me and Kevin will move into a committed relationship. Thank you in advance. Okay, so, all right, getting past the hurdles and all this and that, not knowing that you have to heal. Do you guys do a lot of reconciliation? Someone from your past is returning to your life. So it doesn't mean that it has to be returning. Is somebody coming from the past coming to return to her life? Yeah. So is this Kevin? You're moving forward on something. You're going to discover something about yourself. And one of the things is that it's a habit that your body is saying it wants to get rid of. It wants to get rid of awkwardness. And so that's going to be coming in the future. Who knew? I don't like to say that because it sounds like a post-hypnotic suggestion. There's a party that needs to start working on how you feel like you don't deserve love, because and and how you feel, because you're going to say, but I deserve love. But if you have that deserve love with a bit of a panic, then that emotion before that is going to create your experience about it. So you have to remove all doubts that you don't deserve it. Like if you're a little girl and you were trained to love was taken away, so now you're an adult and you may not realize it's a program that says, oh my God, the love's gonna be taken away, and it's like, oh, I did wrong, I don't deserve love. So that's a pattern. Natasha, where'd my screen go? There it is. Okay, so hopefully you all got that. Natasha, my dear, you ready? Where'd my other screen go? May I ask why I've been feeling so up and down and what I can do to feel better? Yes. Okay. So your soul is projecting you to be up and down because it wants you to deal with low self-esteem. Low self-esteem is actually in the symptom inside, and you're not knowing this feeling. And it's so that part of you is saying, I need to address this if I'm going to go and have a happy life. And then it says that you have to look at why you created low self-esteem, and it has to do with something you rejected in your reality as a 3-year-old. And one of the things that you rejected was pain. And you're like, and you felt hysterical. So did something happen, or you picked that's how you're supposed to act in your environment? So this sounds like it's like, this is what I'm supposed to next logically step, do, think, and feel, and be. And there goes my light. Oh, oh, that was interesting. So and my light just went out. Okay, so that's a sign. That means that, okay, so what would you say? Because I knew something wasn't right. Oh, so that's a sign for you. Okay. All right, Natasha. So I have put a light up there, but somehow it flipped. And I kept going, what's wrong? So I didn't see what it was, and I didn't know what it was. So part of me knew something was wrong. And then I looked over, everything seemed fine. And I thought that one side of my face was getting more light. And I thought, what's going on? And then as I just about finished, the light started to fall. And as soon as I caught it, the light went off. So what's trying to get your attention? What is getting your attention that it literally makes you have to focus on something else in order to function? So see what's draining your energy or making you focus. That's what they want you to do. Okay, you guys are wonderful. If you'd like to do the readings, let me know. You can do a recommendation, or you can write on my page. I believe that's still open. And I'm so proud of you, Roddy. You made it to YouTube. I am on YouTube, so you can actually like the page and or subscribe. They says what makes the things go up if you subscribe, or when you hit like, or leave a comment. If people like it, then they move it in the algorithms, and so that's, everything's a slow moving pace. So now, is it okay to be awkward? Okay, there's the emotion. Okay, I need to explain this, and there's nothing wrong. You can choose awkward, you can choose fear, you can choose whatever you want to do. Okay. And you can use it. So you found a reason. It says, I don't mind it. It helps my creativity. Now pay attention to this. Use it if you want. But is it making you lose energy? Yes. You learned how to cope, deal, adjust to it. But you have force and you have power. Power is that natural ability, letting spirit come in and helping you. Force is when you have lower negativity and you have to force your way to get things done. And you have to do all of this extra energy that's unnecessary. Okay. And because it's a lower frequency, it's going to lower your vibe. And that makes your life and your health unhealthy. So you can take the wisdom out of awkwardness, and you can grow. But if you feel you can't live without it, then don't. But awkwardness can stop you in so many areas of your life. You got to choose how you want it to show up, if that makes any sense. Natasha says, funny you say about the light. I have been focused on a particular light. It turns on at odd times. I feel connected to it, but unsure why. That's funny. So it has been connecting to you. I have to ask Natasha, is somebody on the other side want to communicate with you? Yes. Male? Female. So female. They're just basically wanting to know that you're here and, hey, we're here. But is it more than just that? Yes. And it's a good? Yes. So your light codes came on too. I think everybody's light codes come on, but your light codes came on, and instead of having sickness and, you're over there going, ooh, something interesting, if that makes any sense. Okay. So I'll give a few minutes. If anybody has emailed me your question, I'll double check. What do you mean? Stop it. Okay. So I'm just going to double check and see if any new information has come in. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying the show. And Leslie says, I'll email. Miranda says, hi. Just remember that, there it is. If if you like me and you think that I should stay and I should keep teaching and doing this, then you can really create support by going over to, YouTube and liking, subscribing, and sharing. Here on Facebook, you can make sure you subscribe, get notified, be first to see, and then to share it out. Remember to hit the love buttons and all of that. These help the ratings. Apparently, it's all about ratings. And it's so funny because they say that, they're taking away the like button because, it's messing with people's self-esteem. But yet for business, they're taking away the like button. But yet, how are you supposed to do the algorithms that they're saying? I think they're trying to work out the kinks. Somebody's losing their voice. I'm almost afraid to look at an email because okay, that would explain it. Okay, so we are going to look at Leslie Maltese, and it says, looking for guidance. My mom, Patricia, passed away 4 months ago. I cannot dream of her. I feel so lost. Okay. That's why I thought you're here. Okay, so Patricia's here, and okay, thank you. Every time you think of Patricia, she's right there. Now, here's the thing, it's that you can't dream, but you can't see signs of her, but you got to remember, if you're not in the spirit mindset to do so, then you will feel lost because the emotions are going to pull you down. They're going to change your brainwaves, and they're going to make you miss your heart, and they're going to make you farther away from her. You need to go in and start to balance out those emotions, because those emotions are literally dropping your energy down. And she says, I have left signs. She says, I've left pennies. I have left little sparkly things. And I want to try and learn that light switch trick, she says. But it's the emotions and oh, that's why this was happening. Trust us. If you want to pay, you do. So this is $9 for 6 minutes. So you can. I'll wait a minute. And Leslie, your mom is that. Oh, my mom's talking to your mom. That's funny. Okay. My mother says, remember when you saw me in the casket and I looked really good? She says, she looks good too. And the thing is that she has her voice. Okay, she has that love, that when you go and you burn up the physical form and you don't no longer need this car or this television set to transmission through because it got worn out, then your consciousness goes back up to the grid as labeled as Patricia, as well as connecting to the greater consciousness of who she is. And so the interesting part is that the emotions of it is not there, except for she feels great love, which heals the body because it's not a nervous system. We got the nervous system. So that's all cleared. And like my mother says, beauty, Jesus, we get to show up the way we want. She says, I look good. And your mom says, yeah, I think we look like twins. Oh, that's why you guys are standing next to each other. Okay. So I don't know if they know each other. I'm sure they do at some point, not here on Earth probably, but they're having a good time. And the thing is that when your mother turns around and it's like, I see her wanting to do this. That's why my mom's here. Okay. So, to do this, and she wants to figure out how to soothe you. Now, how did you find me? She says, she says that she gave you clues to be here. So you are listening to some degree too, because you're here. Okay. Just to let you know. The main thing is that your mind goes into fear of being alone and that you can't do it because your safety is gone. And she says, it's not true, dear. You have wings. It's time to trust in them. Healing the emotions, putting your hand on your forehead and balancing out your energies can be incredible because which one do you want her to have? She won't do any of them. Well, I can still try. There's a lot of free healing tools on my site, but if you just put your hand on your forehead like this when you're trying to fall asleep or when you feel at your lowest, you don't have to do anything but just do that and keep it there. You are an electromagnetic being, and the blood will come back up to your brain, and you'll be able to start dissolving some of those emotions down, if that makes any sense for you. Okay. And somebody said that they are going to, and it hasn't come in yet, but I'll wait a couple more minutes. Oh, such a silly girl. Okay. Yeah, moms are here. I think it's cute. I've never seen that. I'll be at ease if she comes to me in my dream. Now, don't force it, because if you are trying to say, I can't live, or I can't do this, or I can't do it, and she has beaming that energy, but you have to tune in to the right channel. You would have never known how to tune in today if you didn't turn it to this channel. You got to get your dreams and your emotions to stop doing that so that you can hear her in your dream. You got to tune in. Okay. That frequency is nice and strong. Okay. My mother's okay. So my mother is the translator for your mother. That's cute. My mother came to me the night that she died, and how I did it was that I got Bach flower remedy, the rescue. You get some rescue Bach flower remedy, and basically I was putting it on my tongue, and then I could feel my nerves not calming, put it on my tongue, and finally enough of it that all of a sudden I was able to relax. And when I relaxed, my mother came to me. That's what my mother's trying to tell me to tell you about how to communicate with her mother. I have a gift. I feel blocked. Yes. Again, let's try this again. You have a gift. That means your brain wave is probably in theta or delta. Okay. Or it's an alpha. But when you're sad, when you have negative emotions, the love energy that helps you go there can't. So then your frontal lobe that creates your reality, your emotions that are trapped in the body, will tell the frontal lobe that it's because you're feeling first, and then all of a sudden you start thinking, and then that throws you in high beta, which causes you to disconnect from love. When you're asleep, you normally are going to heal. But if you have that energy where you have unresolved issues and it's going through the chakras, then at night, you're not going to be able to hear her because your body's trying to process out those emotions. Okay? So I'm trying to tell you is that you can tap, you can put your hand here, and you can clear out the pain so that it can fine tune, the brain calms down, the brain allows you to drop into alpha or delta or theta, whichever, and then your gifts will start to happen again. But you put also a block over your heart. Understand your gift is not just in your brain, it communicates to the heart brain, and then that connects to the gut brain. So when those three are in harmonizing, then you can really have in fine-tuned gifts. And so there seems to be, so I'm going to ask, is your spirit inside your body? Yes, no. Okay, but that's it, and that's what's going on. Well, if you want me to help you, then I would suggest that you can do a paid reading, a private one. We can do that because you don't have to be stuck there. You have to give yourself some time to understand and to grieve and to do this. And sometimes a tool while you're doing that helps a great deal. Okay, so the person hasn't paid, and I'm assuming that they've changed their mind. And if you haven't changed your mind, then let me know. I can wait. Otherwise, there's free tools, like the Oh My God one. That's why this is a tool. This is one that works, especially when you're stressed. If you put your hand over your heart and you rub right here, that's to help relieve the stress. Learning how to breathe, where you breathe in and let all the air out, suck in your gut, and then relax it. And you do that a couple times, it resets the autonomic nervous system so your nerves calm down so that you can actually start to get out of high beta. God, there's so many things you do. The stroking of the hair literally now you have to do it really fine, because the stroking of the hair can cause the nerves to calm down. And that's why she was stroking my hair. My mother was trying to tell me how. That's why. Oh, good job, guys. Okay, so how much is the paid reading? And all right, so if you wanted to do after the show, which it sounds like, because as I'm trying to explain it to you, you're not going to hear it. So a private reading, you go to my fan page and you're going to see that there's different levels. If you only have $30, you get 15 minutes. The more minutes you spend, the cheaper it costs. The time depends on how much you want to use to do it. And meditation is not going to work because you can't get the heart to relax because it's in pain. You can't get the mind relaxed because the emotions are trapped in the body, which causes you to say, I don't know how to do this. And so sometimes, and that's, trust me, if you start to, the frontal lobe creates reality. And when you're in stress, you're in fight, flight, freeze. 80% of the blood leaves your forebrain. So even if you don't feel like you're stressed, but you're sad and all that, you're still in stress. And you can't think your way out of a paper bag. But if your heart's involved and this part's involved and everything else, and your gut's involved, then you are just a melting mess. Okay? So if you can learn to bring the blood back up, you learn how to breathe to trip the autonomic nervous system, you can start to change your world in dramatic form. But yeah, you'll see on the fan page, it shows the times and even the appointments that are available. Okay, you guys are great. I'm going to check one more time just to make sure. I don't see any, nope, I don't see. Okay. Now, let's say, I'm going to say, bye to my mother or see you later, however it is, because she's with me all the time, but let her do her thing. You guys are great. Thank you very much for everything. You guys are wonderful. And together we're going to create a movement, and together we're going to help each other heal. And we don't have to be in pain anymore. Okay? What I would always like to say, stay blessed. And remember to subscribe and share and watch the next video. Oh, you guys are awesome. Love you. Bye. Stay blessed.